They've outgrown Scottish football and they think they can go and conquer Europe. So it's up to Celtic to go and do that.
Well, you heard it from Kris Boyd. Celtic want to conquer Europe, and today on Fog Football, we're going to look at pundit reaction to transfer deadline day so far. Welcome back to the channel, and we're going to look at a quote from Paul John Dykes from A Celtic State of Mind first. Then we're going to look at Chris Sutton and Kris Boyd. Yes, they're the main offenders. This guy's a diddy man, make no mistake about it. But let's look at his quote. There's an opportunity for Aberdeen to sign a couple of players and really push for second. End of quote. You know what, right? There's been a lot of negativity around Rangers, but you know what? It's Thursday. It's 19 minutes past 5. We're not long away from the window closing. We're not long away from the Old Firm kicking off. 12:30. Be there, be square on Sunday. 12:30. I couldn't even care what time it kicks off. You know what? The battle fever's here. Rangers are going to win. Paul John Dykes can say what he wants. Rangers are going to step up to task. Cyril Dessers is going to bag a hat-trick. We're going to sign a bunch of jabronis tonight, but they're not even going to play a minute on Sunday. But read my lips, Rangers will win on Sunday and go second in the league because Aberdeen will beat Ross County. Boom. Predict it, bookmark it. I'll get ready for it. I am backing Rangers. You know what? It's time to push all that negativity to one side and give us some positivity. But looking back at this quote, right, he's obviously twisting the knife in at Rangers to suggest that Aberdeen could push for second. But is it at the realms of possibility? Aberdeen, currently joint top in the league, have had a great start. They've literally won every single match they've played under Jimmy Thielen. They're not going to go out and spend a couple of million though. They got millions in for Miovski. They could, theoretically, but they're not going to. And I think they've got a decent squad, Aberdeen. Rangers though, it would be a disastrous season if Rangers didn't finish at least second. It's a disastrous season if we don't win the league. That's just that. I mean, that is the bread and butter. And if you're finishing third, there's no butter. There's not even bread. You're just buttering the chopping board. So yeah, Aberdeen won't finish second. And how about that for some positivity? But let's move in to Chris Sutton's comments then. And he said, to sum it up, and then we'll go dive into it, Celtic have gaping transfer hole to fill as Chris Sutton issues Engels and Bernardo challenge. So, Chris Sutton, he's not a happy man. Well, I say he's not a happy man. He is relatively happy, but he was asked about the transfer window, Hatate, O'Reilly, etc., and he said if he was happy about it. Yes, relatively. If they get Engels over the line, there's talk about Austin Trusty, the Sheffield United centre-back. They signed a young, talented left-back for Barcelona, Alex Fell. It's replacing Matt O'Reilly. He was a brilliant player for Celtic last season. He was the top goal scorer in goals and assists, an all-round performance. The strong talk over the summer was that Matt O'Reilly would eventually go. They will have to replace him, and that is the difficulty at replacing him. We saw the Champions League draw yesterday, and Celtic haven't got a bad draw actually in that, albeit the performance levels haven't been there in recent seasons in the Champions League. End of quote. Right, before we move any further, I mean, Sutton literally did say, I believe he tweeted, he said, easy draw for Celtic with a shamrock. I think it is an easy draw for Celtic. It's Champions League football, for goodness sake, man. You couldn't really have asked for a much better draw, and I think Celtic will go through to the knockout stages, playoff round, whatever we call it these days. Then he went on to say, Arnie Engels looks like he's coming in. Everything I've seen and read about him, he's clearly a talented player. Celtic's model is, and they are a development club, but there's a gaping hole at this moment in time because players have to get up to the speed and to the level of Matt O'Reilly, who was sensational last season. And right now, Brendan Rodgers, that's who you've got to really work with. I suspect Bernardo, who they signed over the summer, will start at the weekend in the big game against Rangers. He had little cameos last season where he did okay, but O'Reilly was so special last season that he's certainly going to leave a big hole in that Celtic midfield. He has left a big hole in that Celtic midfield, but, as we're recording this, Ernie Engels hasn't officially signed yet. Is he going to be able to start against Rangers? Is that the correct decision to throw him into the deep end? Will he get at least a couple of minutes against Rangers? I'd like to think that he would. I see no reason why he wouldn't, especially if it goes through. It will go through. I mean, I'm pretty sure this £11 million deal will be getting covered later on this channel, but that's Sutton reaction. What is Kris Boyd saying? So, essentially, he was talking. He didn't really talk about Rangers' transfer business. He was more talking about Celtic this morning on Sky Sports News. He says Celtic have had so much success in Scotland recently. You know, that's a quote. It makes it sound like the past 4 years. I mean, 12 titles at the last 13. Kris Boyd. Then he talked about the fact that, well, they think they've conquered Scottish football, now they want to conquer Europe. It's kind of a dig at them, saying like, you know, you think you've conquered it, but have you? I think they have conquered it, Boyd. I wish I could sit here and say that they haven't, but they have, and I think that's just the reality we're looking at. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Kris Boyd, he's got no ammunition, man. He can't fight back when Rangers are dishing him out nothing, man. Sutton, he doesn't sound like a happy bunny. And yeah, Rangers will finish above Aberdeen. You have that correct. And yeah, we'll be back soon. Weekend preview, Old Firm stuff. Might do a combined 11, all that good stuff. But yeah, guys, leave your thoughts down below. And peace.